Hey guys, today I'm sharing with you how to make these amazing buttery homemade tortillas. They're so easy to make and I love to make these at home because I prefer them as opposed to the store-bought ones which has a ton of ingredients I would rather not have in my food. So let's go ahead and get started. It is just a handful of ingredients. It is so easy to make and they're absolutely delicious. We're going to start off with some water. I'm going to place some water in this bowl as well as some butter. I have 4 tablespoons of butter in here and some water. I will leave all the amounts listed below in the description box for you. I also have some flour in this bowl here. What I did was I took that water and butter and I placed it in the microwave. I want to get that water nice and hot so my butter can start getting melted. To my flour, I added in some salt and now I'm going to add in some baking powder. Again, all the amounts will be listed below in the description box. And to this, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of sugar. I'm using pure cane sugar. Just a little bit of sweetness in this is so good. So we have our flour, salt, baking powder, and sugar, and that's our dry ingredients. We're just going to mix this together with our hands to make sure all of that salt and baking powder is evenly distributed throughout the flour. Take a good minute or so to just mix everything together. Now that my butter has come out of the microwave with my pretty warm water at this point, I'm just going to flip this around because I really want to make sure that that butter is melted. So I'm just kind of using my spoon to kind of move the butter around in the water really. So now that that's fully melted, I made a well in the center of my flour. I'm going to add my liquid in and now I'm going to start off with my spoon just to incorporate my wet and my dry ingredients together. And that is it for ingredients. It's literally just a handful of ingredients, but it's such a good thing to have. It's such an easy thing to make, and you know, the ingredients when you buy store-bought tortillas, it's just like, no, I don't want that. No. Now, of course, there may be some times that I will buy store-bought tortillas because this does take a little bit of time to obviously roll everything out. But just knowing what's going in my food just makes it so much better. So I've taken my spoon and mixed all of that liquid in together until it's pretty much all incorporated, as you can see. I'm just going to take my hand now and start squeezing that in. What I also love about this is you really don't need any more flour or water. It should come out just into this perfect little dough ball. So after just getting all of those ingredients off my bowl, squeezing it all in there, and then just kind of rolling that dough in. I am going to gently knead this for about 1 minute. That is all it takes. It's just 1 minute of kneading. I'm just going to take the back of my wrist here and kind of just push out on that dough and bring it back to itself. And just let that go for about 1 minute. Just a gentle kneading, just until you have a nice smooth dough ball. You do not need to over knead this. This is not a bread dough, but just till it comes together nice and smooth. Took about a minute. Now we're just going to place this in our bowl and cover this to rest for about maybe 20 minutes or so. I'm going to cover this again and let this rest for about 20-30 minutes or so. 15 minutes if that's all the time that you have. So after I've gotten that resting, now I have my beautiful dough I just love working with dough. Something about working with dough is just kind of therapeutic to me. I'm going to sprinkle my surface with a little bit of flour. So now I'm going to take my dough and I'm going to squeeze out portion size pieces out of this. Now you should get about 12 small tortillas out of this, or 6 larger size burrito tortillas out of this. You want to keep your little dough pieces covered so it doesn't dry out. And I'm going to take my piece of dough ball here and I'm tucking each end on the side and rolling it into a ball. That's way just to make sure we have a nice round tortilla. So I'm just going to take the corners, flatten my dough ball out a little bit, take the corners, bring it into itself, pinch and squeeze and tuck and roll. Just take the corners, pinch the bottom of it, squeeze it and roll it into a nice round dough ball. Keep them covered. After we finish that up, I'm going to let them rest for about 5 minutes. I'm going to take each ball and flour my surface, top and bottom, as well as your rolling pin, and I'm just going to flatten it out a little bit. Then I'm going to start rolling it, and as you roll, you want to keep rotating it. That way you have a nice round tortilla. At this point, to be honest with you, when I'm halfway done this, I really don't care how round they are because they're all going to get devoured anyways. But if you really do care about how round they are, that's just a really good way to make sure that you have a nice round tortilla. I'm going to roll this out until it's nice and thin and it's almost see-through. You do not want it too thin because it will just get too hard. So I have a towel here, nice clean towel. I have my saucepan here, or skillet, whatever you want to call it. It's on high heat. And I'm just going to place my rolled out piece of dough on there, again on high heat. You can see that it's nice and thin, but it's not quite see-through. It's exactly what you're looking for. We're going to place this on, again, high heat until we start seeing bubbles. Now, when we start seeing bubbles, I like to wait until those bubbles get a lot bigger. You can see those bubbles are forming these nice little pockets there. And then we're going to flip it. This is only going to take about 1.5 to 2 minutes to cook completely because it is really nice and thinly rolled out. You don't want to overcook this either because they just get too hard. If you cook them just for about 1.5 minutes, I let them go for about maybe 30 seconds on each side. Then I flip it 15 seconds and 15 seconds. And that's 1.5 minutes for me. And they're perfect, and they're buttery, and they're so soft. They're delicious. They're delicious by itself, or of course, you can use them for burritos, tacos, whatever you want, your heart's desire. And I used organic flour. I used just simple ingredients. It's such a simple thing, but sometimes when you buy this at the store, there are 20 different ingredients in there. Yeah, so I prefer to make them at home. Of course, sometimes I do buy them at the store to make life easier, but as you can see, these are soft. And I love to serve this with my chicken and my white sauce wrap. Oh my goodness, that's such a good meal. I love that recipe. I'll see if I can link that down below. I just share the white sauce as well. But anyways, wrap, absolutely delicious, so easy. I hope that you guys try and enjoy all the amounts we listed below. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.